This week's episode of Smart Money Sundays. Hope you're doing well. Going to break down a few pairs today quickly as I'm feeling a little bit under the weather. But as usual, we're going to start off on Euro USD. Now, we obviously had quite the significant sell-off on Friday. And as you can see, the closure with no wick to the downside. And from my experience, what I've seen quite frequently when a pair, specifically a dollar pair, closes like it did on Friday, closes for that week with no wick to the downside, some call it Mirabozu close, that it's often to trick people, right? We've sold off significantly, and I can guarantee you most retail traders are probably thinking that this is going to continue down, and it might. But just based upon my experience and the fact that we have not traded into my higher time frame POI around 1.2200 tells me that this was fake, that this was false, and that we should continue to look to buy Euro USD and really sell the dollar. Okay, and so breaking this thing down on a lower time frame, I do have a couple points of interest that I'm looking for continuations at the proper time of day, specifically New York session. Okay, so my first point of interest is going to be around 1.2000, 1.201, kind of to be exact. This candle here that swept a lot of liquidity. Now, if we do breach this level, then I am looking at a secondary level down here, which ran nice equal lows, okay, around 1.1975. So either way, around the right time of day, around New York Open, I will be interested in this level if we're trading at that level at that time, or potentially this level after having run out this low. Okay, so ultimately, I think EU is not done yet with this current uptrend, and I think we can make a new high around 1.2200. Okay, so that is Euro USD. Another one I'm looking at that correlates pretty nicely with Euro USD is GBP USD. And this one I'm looking at the 1 hour down close candle here at 1.37660. As you can see, a very, very clean sponsor candle with no wick to the upside, straight sell off, sell to buy, create a new high. Okay, so I'd like to see accumulation at this level, and we can go ahead and take it long again. Overall targets I'm looking at ultimately 1.4080 if we can make it up there. Okay. Now, if we do breach this level, then I expect price to trade down into this overall level that I think eventually it will trade into, because it has not accounted for this level yet at 1.3600. Okay, so we're either going to, and I favor the first option, we're going to respect this level, create a new high, and then sell off. Or if we sell off, we can pull back and look to sell it into our higher time frame level down here at 1.3600. Okay. USD CHF is another one that I really like and correlates nicely with Euro USD. This one is relatively straightforward. As you can see, this region of manipulation running out equal highs to the left. I think price is going to respect this level. I'll just mark it off. Around 0.9150 into 9160, looking for that distribution to sell it down into these very nice equal lows. Okay, this is not a low within the market. Okay, so this gives me conviction, validation for continuing to sell USD CHF, and obviously conviction behind our bias on Euro USD and GBP USD. Okay, so very straightforward. 9150 will be looking for distribution around New York equity market open. Okay. CHF JPY is extremely bullish at the moment, and just looking at the higher time frame, I do believe that it can trade ultimately up into this former gap in price. Would be a nice area of price to target if you are going long on CHF JPY. 121.8. You can see it's more than likely 50% of this up close candle as well. Okay, so 121.80, I think we can target for buys. and I'll be looking at this candlestick and here for accumulation at 119, take it on up into our higher time frame level. Okay. Euro JPY correlates nicely with that as well. They are very nicely correlated pairs, CHF JPY and Euro JPY, and they're aligning very nicely. Okay, so Euro JPY had a very, very nice reaccumulation schematic, and I believe we are simply retracing to retest the high that we formed within the reaccumulation schematic. As you can see, the 4-hour 50 EMA as well at 131. So I'll be looking for accumulation here to take it up into at least 134.135, but ultimately I believe we can trade up into this candlestick, which ran out clean wicks within these highs around 135.8. Okay, so I think ultimately Euro JPY into 135.8. Okay, so just a simple retest of the high within this schematic would be very nice. GBP JPY correlating with the other ones as well. Have our 4-hour 50 EMA and this imbalance here that I think we can respect and accumulate. If not, we have a very nice 15-minute down close candle, which would be a very steep retracement, which would be the only thing that would concern me. However, this is a very nice candle and a good level to have as a POI if we do indeed trade all the way back down into that level and accumulate. Okay, but first and foremost, I will be looking at this level in here at 150.75 as we do have our 4-hour EMA as a confluence. Okay, and we can take that up into 153 and potentially even make a new high on GBP JPY. All right, last two, NZD CAD obviously had a very significant sell-off the last couple of weeks, and I believe we will be trading into our down close candle here at 8,700, which I've been talking about for weeks on Smart Money Sundays. Okay, and so until then, until we trade down into this level, I believe obviously we can look for short to medium term selling opportunities, continuations down into this level, or we can then look for accumulation to buy it. Okay, this is a very, very, very strong key level for NZD CAD, and I do believe ultimately we will respect it and catch a nice potential swing trade to the upside. Okay, but until then, we can look for sells down into this level. We have a very clean, predetermined target for it at 8.7. All right. CAD CHF is going to be the last one that I cover, and this one is very simple, very straightforward. You can see that we're engineering the liquidity within this retail trend line, and so the only thing I'd be looking for is a simple sell-off, running out the liquidity, enticing short sellers into the market. My level within this structure here is at 7,340, this doji candle here, where I'll be looking for accumulation. Now, if we breach this continuation pattern, I guess is a more appropriate term than structure. If we breach that, then I'll be looking at this area of interest to then buy it and catch even a higher risk to reward. Okay, so either way, we're looking for longs on CAD CHF. We have our two distinct levels. Okay, so we're creating our plan in advance, and we simply need to react and adapt to what the market and the data in the market is presenting to us. Okay, so that's all I wanted to cover for today. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to message us on Telegram at Ariel FX Trading if you'd like to get involved in the community as well. Okay, have a great week. Thank you.